Thank you so much for telling me. I keep forgetting. Thank you so much, Ashwin. Thank you so much. Yeah. So again, Vibhuti means telling about Krishna's glories, and Vibhuti Yoga. This is chapter 10. Lord Krishna is declaring that his nobody knows his origin, not even devatas nor sages. And then because in chapter 9, it was all about devotional service, and Arjuna wanted to know more about Krishna's glorifications and opulences. So Krishna desires to increase Arjuna's devotion. And in this chapter, he's going to increase his devotion by telling about what are we going to learn is knowing that Krishna is unknowable and source of all. Chatushloki 8.10 to 10.8 to 10.11. And Arjuna accepts Krishna as supreme, and Lord Krishna describes his vibhutis. So let's see. To know Krishna. Shri Bhagavan uvacha bhuya eva mahabaho shrunu me paramam vachaha yatte ham priyamanaya vakshami hita kamyaya. Yes, please. Chuma Mataji. Aishwarya Mataji.
Hare Krishna. The Supreme Lord said, "My dear friend, mighty armed Arjuna, I listen again to my supreme word, which I shall impart to you for your benefit and which will give you great joy. Lord Krishna is the source of everything." Hare Krishna.
Yes. Lord Krishna is the source of everything. Bhagavan, as Parashar Muni had always, last time also we read about it, he explained. Bhagavan means full of 6 opulences. Anybody remembers all the 6 opulences? Absolute. Yes.
Absolute beauty, absolute fame,
absolute beauty,
absolute renunciation, absolute knowledge.
Absolute strength, absolute fame, absolute
Very
wealth.
good, very good, very good. Yes. So absolute strength, absolute fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty, and absolute renunciation. Very good. Is Bhagavan, Supreme Personality of God. So when Krishna was present on this earth, he displayed all the 6 opulences, right? So now here, what is he using? Yatteham priyamanai, priya. You are implying you are my beloved, confidant and now disciple before friend, a friend and devotee. So I'm going to reveal this special knowledge to this knowledge to you, says Lord Krishna over here. So what opulence does Lord Krishna have?
All of the above.
All of the above.
All of the above is right answer. Yes. Yes, please. Sureka Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Neither the host of demigod nor the great sages know my origin, for in every respect I am the source of the demigod and the sages.
Yes, a father knows about baby's birth, right? If you are a mother or a father, you know about your baby's birth and the life of your son or daughter or whatever, because you have seen it, the baby being born and all. But if you ask your son, can you tell about your father's birth and his childhood? He won't know because he did not witness it. Whatever father will tell, that much he may know, but he has not witnessed it, so he doesn't know about it, right? Similarly, all the devatas, they have come from Krishna. That's why Lord Krishna says over here that they don't know my origin. And he is the source of demigod. God cannot be known by these devatas, as Krishna existed well before them, right? Whenever we water the tree, where do we water the tree usually? Where do we water the tree when we have to water a tree?
Roots.
Roots. So naturally, Krishna is the origin. So we pray to him, right? And so that is very important. Name vidusura ganaha prabhavam namaharshayah ahmadirhi devana maharshinam cha sarvashaha. So he says no one knows because I am the origin of all. Yes, please continue.
He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds, he, undeluded among men, is freed from all sins.
Yes. So Yoma Majamana Dimcha Vitiloka Maheshwaram Asamudha Samarteshu Sarva Papai Pramuchate. So now can you tell me who all are there in the picture over here? Anybody knows the deity, the devatas and all? Who are they?
Shiva, Brahma,
Shiva.
Yes.
Narada.
Then anyone, any
Brahma.
other devata
Brahma.
that you can recognize?
Lord Brahma.
Brahma, yes. Kartikeya, Hanuman, so many, right? Lord Krishna, what does he say in 5.29? Bhokta Ram Yajna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suruhurdam Sarvabhutanam Nyatva Mam Shanti Mrichati. So he is the Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. Here also it's saying Yoma Majamana Demcha Veti Loka Maheshwaram. He's saying he is the Supreme Lord, right? So see, it's not wrong to worship Lord Ganesha or Goddess Saraswati. She is the goddess of learning, right? It's not wrong to worship, but it's like, we are worshipping indirectly, right? So directly we can easily worship Lord Krishna. It's like indirectly we are worshipping Lord Krishna only. Why? Because they are part and parcel of Lord Krishna only. They are his part only. So we should know that Lord Krishna is the ultimate source of all, right? How? When the rivers are flowing, ultimately all the rivers in the country, where does it end up? Anybody, any idea?
Ocean.
Ocean, exactly. So all the rivers flow from everyone and ultimately it will be joining the ocean. So similarly, all the devatas, ultimately it's all Krishna only. So Krishna has given different departments to handle, right? So the power is, he has given them the power. So his power is there everywhere. He has told everyone what all to do. If God himself bestows his grace upon someone, then that person will understand him. Otherwise, very difficult to understand Lord Krishna, right? So see, if he says that he who knows me as the unborn, like if Krishna is known as son of Devaki, we call him Devaki Nandan, right? He is Devaki Nandan, he is son of Devaki. Then how can he be unborn? He was born because we call him the son of Devaki. No, but in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is very neatly and nicely explained. So when he appeared before Devaki and Vasudeva, he was not born as an ordinary child, right? He came as Chaturbhuja Rupa. He came in that four-armed form, his original form. He then transformed himself into an ordinary child. So, and why was he born? He was born because Devaki and Vasudeva, they wanted a child like Krishna. And so Krishna came to give them happiness. Devaki and Vasudeva had prayed for a baby like Krishna. So Krishna is there everywhere, right? But he appeared for them and to do pastimes. So those who come to know God will come to know because of his grace only. So there is a distinction, to make distinction between souls and himself. He is saying that I am Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, I am Loka Maheshwaram, I am the supreme controller. He is the supreme enjoyer. He is best of friends. He is our only friend. He is only our friend. That's it. And he is the source of all good things. Who is the source of demigods and great sages?
Lord
See,
Krishna.
Lord
Lord Krishna.
Krishna appeared first to Devaki and Vasudeva.
In his original
in his
form.
original form.
Yes. Yes, please. Amita Mataji. Hare Krishna. Juma Mataji, Hare Krishna.
One who is factually convinced. One who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mine engages unalloyed devotional service of this, there is no doubt.
Yeah. So unless, one is very firmly convinced of different opulences that Lord has, we cannot engage in his devotion. Getting into that bhakti is also very difficult unless and until we have 100% faith in him, right? So generally people do not know that God is great. They know, okay, God is great. We know God is very powerful. He's great, but we do not know how great God is. That much we do not know. So naturally, once we understand that there is a direct relationship between knowledge and love or devotion. Very direct relationship. Like, I always give this example of say that, I gave my sister a black color stone, for example. So she has no clue, no knowledge about it, so what it is. So naturally, what will have, she doesn't have any great love for it, just that I have given it to her, that's it. So then I tell you, you know what, I have brought it from the Himalayas or Badrinath temple or wherever. So then naturally now, after getting that kind of knowledge, her love and respect has increased many folds. Now I add some more information and knowledge, give her knowledge. I say, you know what, it was kept at the feet of Lord Vishnu for years together, and priests have worshipped that. Now, after knowing that, her love and respect multiplies many folds now. So, like this example, what do we notice? That each time the knowledge is increasing, the devotion is increasing proportionally, right? For the stone. Similarly, the knowledge of God, the moment we get more knowledge about God, our devotion will increase automatically. So Lord Krishna is saying that those who become situated in knowledge, naturally they will, get united with him because of the bhakti that they have, that unalloyed bhakti they get because of the knowledge that they get. What is the effect after knowing that Krishna is great?
All of the above.
One fixes in
One
devotional
fixes
service.
and devotional service.
Correct,
BBB.
correct, yes. So now this is Chatushloki 10.8 to 10.11. You can always learn these shlokas also. These are very good, important shlokas. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattas sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaah. Yes, Aishwarya Mataji, Hare Krishna.
I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who knows this perfectly engages in my devotional service and worship me with all their heart. Hare Krishna.
Hare. So this Chatushloki are 4 verses in this 10th chapter, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is called Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita. It's the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because in these 4 verses, what Krishna is doing is he's sharing. He's sharing the topmost knowledge, and he's revealing his heart. He's opening up his heart and telling everything. So through these verses, what Lord Krishna is trying to establish is that he is the Supreme Lord, and his devotees are always absorbed in his meditation. So of these 4 verses, in this first verse, what is happening over here? Krishna is explaining why we should worship him. We need to understand, right? So why we should worship him, Lord Krishna is explaining. He begins by saying, Aham sarvasya prabhavo, means I am the supreme ultimate truth, the cause of all causes. So this is very important. Like in Brahma Samhita also, Lord Brahma always says this, right? That there are infinite universes. Each universe will have a Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara, and they manifest from the pores of Mahavishnu. Whenever Mahavishnu breathes out, there are universes are coming out, and then again dissolve into him when he breathes in. So Lord Brahma says, I worship that Lord Krishna, of whom Mahavishnu is an expansion. So Lord Vishnu, as Lord Vishnu breathes out, all the universes, come out of his mouth. They're like, thousands of soap bubbles floating in the sky. It's like that. And Lord Vishnu enters in each universe. So now Lord Krishna is saying, Aham Sarvasya Prabhu. After telling that, Lord Krishna is now going to explain how the devotees worship. Till now, why we should worship. Now, how devotees worship him. So this is what Lord Krishna is going to tell. Krishna is the source of dash world.
Spiritual.
Both of the
Both
above.
of the above, spiritual and material.
Correct. Very good. So let's see how they worship. How do the devotees worship? Macchitta madgata prana bodhayantav parasparam katayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Yes, Amita Mataji, Hare Krishna.
The thoughts of my pure devotees, their lives are surrendered to me, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss, enlightening one
And conversing about me. So how do they worship me? So devotees of Lord, they are 24/7, daily, all the time. They are engaged in glorifying the qualities, the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Their hearts, their souls are constantly, they're completely submerged in Krishna. And they are taking pleasure whenever, if they want to talk, they will discuss only and only about Krishna to other devotees. So pure devotees are like that, they are like how the super magnet you can see here. Super magnets, they will convert even the iron filings also, they will convert to magnet, right? So devotional service is just like a seed. And if that seed is sown in the heart, in our heart, then we go on hearing and Shravanam and Kirtanam and Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That seed that is sown, it fructifies. And we keep watering it by doing Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam and all. We become completely, fully absorbed in love of God. And then what happens is we cannot stay away. We cannot stay away from not doing Kirtan or not listening or not remembering him without being in contact with Supreme Lord. We want to be with him. It's like, the fish that cannot live without water will become like that. So after telling how they worship him, Lord Krishna is going to explain how he responds when they do devotional activity. So let's see how Lord responds to his devotees. Tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayanti te. Yes, Juma Mataji, Hare Krishna.
To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So how he responds in this verse, what Lord has used is buddhi yogam. So whenever somebody is wanting to go back to Godhead, go back to his permanent place, he wants to take up Krishna consciousness, he does all kinds of devotional service, then his action is called buddhi yoga. So what does it mean? Buddhi yoga means it's a process to get away from this entangle, to get away from this cycle of birth and death, right? So what is the qualification? How do we qualify? So how do we know? It means that whenever a person is completely engaged in Krishna consciousness and he's loving him, completely devoted to him, rendering all kinds of service to him, and he's performing some sort of work for Krishna, and that work also is doing with bhakti, with love, with devotion. But if a devotee is not intelligent enough to progress on the path of self-realization, what happens? He is sincere, he is devoted, but he is not able to put in like 100%. So Lord gives him a chance, right? He says, okay, don't worry, you can progress and ultimately you can come to me. So then Lord Krishna goes on to explain what happens when we receive his divine grace. How does Krishna help those devotees who engage in devotional service sincerely but are not intelligent?
By giving him
By
a chance to progress
yes,
and-
by giving him a chance to progress and ultimately attaining. Very good. Okay, so next, what happens when we receive his divine grace? Let's see. Tesham evanukampartham ahamajnana tamaha nashayam yatma bhavasto jnanadipena bhasvata. Yes, Aishwarya.
Out of compassion for them, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Hare Krishna.
So Hare Krishna. So due to the contamination, we have, our hearts are so polluted, right? Millions and millions of birth we have taken. Heart is completely covered with the dust of materialism. So see, our ultimate goal is to go back to our permanent place. This is our temporary house, right? It's not our permanent place, right? Dukkhalayam ashashvatam this is. So we have to go back to our permanent place, but how to go? How to achieve it? How do we do it? Only by chanting. We keep on chanting in this Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, Yuga Dharma is chanting. Do devotional service. Keep chanting. Keep reading Association of Devotees. And if we keep doing it, what will happen? Slowly, slowly, as we are chanting, the dust will get cleared off. And then slowly our knowledge will increase. We will increase our knowledge slowly. And then the moment we surrender completely to the Lord, he takes over. Then he takes over everything and he will help us that we become completely free from this materialistic endeavors or whatever we are doing, then what he will do? He will hold our hand, and then he will pull us out of this cycle of birth and death, right? So what do we get out of here is the purity. Every time we are reading is love. Purity is the force. That's the very, very important point over here. And books and scriptures, they are the basis. They will help us. By reading that, we can purify ourselves by chanting devotional service. We purify ourselves. So 3 steps to progress. Let's see this. First is awareness or sambandha, right? So we always have this inquisitive nature that to understand, like, who he is. We should also have that, like, who is Lord? What is this universe? What is God? What is our relationship with him? What is, relationship with God, with the universe? What is going on? What is this material? We need to have that curiosity, right? But how we can progress? We can only progress if we have that awareness. Unless and until we have that awareness, we will not get into those, we won't get those questions only, right? So we can only progress by trying to be having that awareness. For example, the example I always cite for this one is that if we are going out suppose we are going in a car and we are nicely listening to kirtans and nice kirtans we are listening, or lectures of Prabhupada we are listening, and suddenly we are passing by a beautiful house, and that attracts our attention. Right now we were listening to his lecture or music, the kirtan, and then suddenly our attention goes towards that house. So you had always wanted that house. It was so beautiful. So the thought process from kirtan and lecture moved to that house. So the awareness has moved over there, right? So you said, oh, I always wanted it. I love the house, the structure, the color, the style. So now what has happened? Knowingly or unknowingly, you have made a sambandha. Means your awareness has shifted over there from whatever you were doing before. Now, next, what happens? You start thinking, how can I get it? I need to get that. Maybe, I should go and take some loan from the bank. Maybe I can ask my father if he can spare some money, or maybe I can sell my old home or buy this one. Now, what is happening? Process has started. Abhideya. It has started, right? You started thinking how to get it. Then you go home. What do? You start finding out. You call the agent, and then you call the bank about the loan, and then you talk to the agent about it. So the goal, prayojana, means you want to buy that house. That's the goal. So why you want that? So that you can live over there luxuriously, right? Similarly, as a devotee, first we must do is sambandha. We must be aware that Krishna is sarva karana karanam. He is the cause of all causes. He is the source of everything. He is the source of knowledge. He will destroy all the impediments. That is the awareness we need to get to know our relationship with Krishna and the universe. That's the awareness we need to get. Then the second process for a devotee will be abhideya, or the process. So we have to, whatever knowledge we gain from here, Bhagavad-gita, Bhagavata, we have to apply that knowledge in day-to-day life, right? And we have to practice that so that we can move towards his devotion and service. We have to surrender. We need to have that purity, right? We need to follow all the, and what is our goal? What is our prayojana here? It is to gain Krishna's mercy, his grace. Why? So that we can go to his loka, we can go back to our permanent place. And then with Krishna's mercy, we can surrender ultimately. If with complete surrender, we can go back home, back to Godhead. This is what we need to do. These are the 3 steps to progress. Yes, please, Juma Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Arjuna said, "You are the supreme personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest." All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Arjuna, after he heard all the essential 4 verses of Bhagavad Gita, Chatusloki, right? So now he doesn't have any more doubts. He completely accepts Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Arjuna at once is saying, you are Param Brahma. Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashwatam Devyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Rishayas Sarve Devarishir Naradastata Asito Devalo Vyasaha Swayam Chaiva Bravishime. So what is he saying? You are Param Brahma. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's not that because Krishna is his friend and that is why he wants to just thodi si chaplusi karni, buttering karni. No, he doesn't want to flatter him that way, right? Just because he's a friend, he won't flatter. No. Whatever he's saying, he confirmed in the next two verses. Devarishir Naradastada Asito Devalo Vyasa Swayam Chaiva Bravishime. So he's giving. So it is confirmed by Vedic truth also. It's not that I am saying you are Param Brahma. I'm saying there is a, evidence behind it. Like in Munduka Upanishad, it is confirmed that the Supreme Lord in whom everything is resting, he can only be realized if by a person, by a devotee who is constantly engaged in thinking of him, right? Constantly thinking is like what? Smaranam, always remembering. That's one of the method of devotional service. Smaranam. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam. So Smaranam is one of the method of devotional service. So whenever, any great person, any great authority, they will testify this knowledge, ye sahi hai. The credibility is proven, right? Agar wo nahi bol rahe, then credibility is, like for example, suppose your neighbor comes to you and say, you know what, maine suna hai that public has to pay 10% tax only. Really, I don't know that. Everybody has to pay 10. You're not convinced because that's just a neighbor who's saying. But if an income tax commissioner will say that same thing, then you will say yes. Source is there. That source is credible. So the whatever he has told us, that knowledge, that point will be statement is correct. So right, similarly, so only whenever great authorities testify knowledge, its credibility is proven. So these great saints, Asito, Devala, Vyasa, Narada Muni, all these great saints are their authorities for spiritual knowledge. So Arjuna is quoting these saints' names. He says Narad, Asita, Devala, Vyasa. They have declared Lord Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he is the cause of all causes. So definitely he is your Param Brahma, declares Arjuna. Which statement is not correct?
Mayavadi philosopher think that they are absolute and independent of Krishna.
That is true.
Smaranam is not the method of devotional service.
Yes. Smaranam is not the method, is false. It's not correct, I said. Hare Krishna. Which process is recommended for understanding Bhagavad Gita?
Acceptance of discipline.
Yes, correct. Very good. Very good. Yes, please, Ashwari Mataji. Juma Mataji, Hare Krishna.
O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you and how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead?
Please continue.
O Janardana, again please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I am never satiated in hearing about you. For the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. Hare
Krishna. So how shall I think of you? Arjuna, he already understood Lord is Bhagavan. But he was asking for the people to understand that, Lord is Supreme Personality, ultimate Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? So now he wants to know in what ways, what other ways, which Lord has not yet told. He wants to understand Lord's vibhutis, his transcendental opulences, his glories, how it's displayed throughout this creation. What other ways can we know? Krishna, I want to hear from you. I want to hear your fame, the topmost paramount position as supreme controller of all this creation. I want to know, Krishna. So, whenever God's descriptions, the glories, it's like nectar. for whoever who loves him, who's completely devoted to him. They want to hear more and more. For example, a mother, somebody says to a mother, you know, your son has excelled in this and he is so good in this, he's so talented. The mother would keep wanting to hear more and more, right? You know, that's the love. So Arjuna's love for Lord Krishna was so much, it was like nectar, right? Transcendental, divine. So Arjuna has been drinking the Lord's Krishna's nectar-like words with his ears. And now he cheers him. He says, Bhuya kataya triptirhi shrunvato nasti me mritam. Bhuya kataya. Please, once more, tell me more. His thirst, he says, my thirst for hearing your glories is never satiated, never satisfying. I don't, it doesn't quench my thirst. I want to hear more and more about it. And he's praying to Krishna to reveal his glories. Why is hearing and reading about the Lord and his pastimes are forever fresh and not tiring?
Both of
A
them.
and B plus. Both of them.
Yes, correct. Yes, please, Aishwari Mataji.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
So it's like, those who think that, they can count the glories of God. Okay, this is the glory of God, this is glory of God, this is glory. That's very childish. That's thinking like in a child manner, childish intellect, you can say. We may be able to even count, for example, we may use something and count the specks of dust on this earth, but we can never ever count the unlimited opulences and glories of God. We cannot. Whatever glories he has, we cannot count. So Arjuna wants to know more about his glories. So Lord Krishna says, okay, you are asking me, right? So I will describe a small fraction of my vibhuti. Says, my opulences are limitless, Arjuna, but I will tell you a little bit about it, okay? He says. So why is Arjuna wanting to know more? For common people, so that everyone can hear about Krishna's opulence. For the sake of devotees who taste the nectar, relishing the sweet pastimes, for personal absorption, so that one can think of him at the time of death. Food for thought is, the purer we become, the more we think about the Lord and also others. And then we think less about our own selves. That is true compassion. People ask, what is compassion? It is about thinking about Lord, others, rather than our own selves. Why did Arjuna ask Krishna for the explanation of Krishna's all-pervading nature?
Arjuna wants that
Arjuna wants that
B.
individual should understand Krishna as Supreme Lord.
Very nice. Very good. Yes. So he's going to tell all his vibhutis from here. So very quickly, Juma Mataji, you will say like, he is the light among sun, he is Maruts, he is the moon among stars, he is the Indra among Vedas, he is the sun among light, he is Vishnu among Adityas. You can start from number 1.
Okay. Sun, light.
No. You have to say he is Vishnu among Adityas,
Okay.
number 1, that one.
Okay. He is Vishnu among Adityas. He is sun among light. He is
Marichi.
Marichi among Maruts. He is moon among stars. He is Sama among Vedas. He is Indra among demigods. He is mind among senses. He is life force among living beings. He is Lord Shiva, Shankar among Rudras. He is Vitesha, Kuvera among Yaksas and Rakshas. He is
Brihaspati.
Skanda among Brihaspati. Yeah. He is Brihaspati among priests. He is Skanda among generals. He is
Kanda
ocean
is like
among bodies.
Kartikeya. Yes. He is
He is
ocean.
ocean among bodies of water. He is Bhrigu among sages. He is Om among vibrations. He is sacrifices among chanting of holy names, that is Japa. He is Himalayas among immovable things. He is holy fig, Aswatha among trees. He is Narada among sages of the demigods. He is Chitraradha among singers of the demigods. He is Kapila among perfected beings, Siddhas. He is
Ucheshrava,
Ucheshrava among
horses.
horses. He is Airavata among lordly elephants. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
There are a lot of detail which you will learn in level 2 classes, but I'll just tell you over here, like Indra is also called as Vasava, another name of Indra. So he's the chief of all the Devatas, right? So that Lord Krishna says, I am that. Even mind, he says, among senses, I am mind. 5 senses, right? They function correctly only if mind is attentive to them, right? If mind wanders away, the senses also cannot function. For example, you are hearing with your ears, for example, right? What people say. But if the mind is wandering away somewhere, whatever, while they are speaking, whatever they are saying to you, those words are lost. So your mind is the king of the senses. Krishna is even the consciousness, right? Our consciousness. And then he also says that among the Rudras, he is Lord Vishnu. And Yakshas, he is Kubera. Kubera is god of wealth, right? And among the priests, the main priest is Brihaspati in the Swargaloka. So Krishna says, among priests, I am Brihaspati. Then Kartikeya, Lord Shiva's son, he is called Skanda also. He is the commander-in-chief of celestial gods. So he is the military commander. So he says, Lord says, I am best reflects the opulence of God. Krishna says, among the bodies of water, he is ocean. And among all the Brahma, he was the first living creature within the universe. He had many, many sons. Among those sons, Bhrigu. Bhrigu was a powerful sage. So then he says, I represent Omkara also. Om, he says, I represent that. And then among the yajnas and all, a lot of rules are applicable, right? But in Japa Yajna, there are no rules. You can, in sacrifices, it says chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In Kali Yuga, you have only Nama Adhara, right? So you have to only think, even in Ramayana, it is there. Kali Yuga Kevala Nama Adhara, Sumri Nara, Uttara Hin Para. Means you will cross. If you do Kevala Nama Adhara, in Ramayana, it's written. So in this age of Kali, we need to keep chanting and remembering the name of God. So many great sages, they reside in Himalayas in their subtle bodies, and they are practicing penance for their own advancement and of course for the benefit of humankind also. So therefore, Lord says Himalayas, the greatest mountain in the world, that also represents him also. Ashwatha, the banyan tree, he says that is one of the beautiful trees and the highest, and people in India, they worship also. So Buddha also meditated over there. So that represents him. Of course, Narad Muni, then he is the greatest sage, right? And then Gandharva planet is filled with this. The Chitraratha is he is the best singer among them in Gandharva planet. So he represents. Then among, Siddhas, he says Kapila Muni. Kapil Muni was the son of Devahuti. He is also a representation of Krishna only. He is considered incarnation of Krishna, that is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. And then whenever the Devatas and the Asuras, when they were taking part in the churning of the ocean, that time, nectar came out, poison came out, and Lord Shiva, what did he do? He drank the poison. From the nectar, what happened? Many, many things came out. One of that was the horse called Ucheshrava. That horse came out. So another animal produced from the nectar was the elephant, which was called Airavata. So because these two animals were produced from the nectar, they have special, they're special, right? So that is why they are representatives of Krishna. So that Ucheshrava it's a heavenly winged, celestial winged horse. It belongs to Lord Indra. He is the king of celestial Devata, right? And that Ucheshrava horse is white in color, fastest horse in the universe. And it came when they were churning the ocean, when Devatas and Asuras were doing it, right? Even Airavata is also vehicle of Indra only, right? It's the elephant of the clouds. It's there. It's called. This is a quick thing. You will get in detail in level 2, right? Okay. Let's finish this also. Yes, Aishwarya Mataji, would you like to do that? Monarch is monarch among men.
He is Monarch among men. He is Vajra among weapons. He is Surabhi among cows. He is Kandarpa, Cupid among procreators. He is Vasuki among serpents. He is Ananta among snakes. He is Varuna among aquatic deities. He is Aryama among departed ancestors. He is Yama among dispensers of law. He is Prahalada among deity demons. He is time among subduers. He is lion among beasts. He is Garuda among birds. He is wind among purifiers. He is Rama among wielders of weapons. He is shark among fishes. He is Ganges amongst flowing rivers. He is beginning, end, and also middle of creations. He is spiritual science of the self among sciences. He is conclusive truth among logicians. He is or a among letters. He is dual word, Dvanda Samasa among component words. He is Brahma among creators. Hare Krishna.
Krishna is the representative, king is the representative of Krishna, because Krishna is the maintainer of universe, right? And the king. So definitely, then thunderbolt, Vajram is thunderbolt. It was made out of the bones of sage Dadichi. Any other time I will tell you the story of the whole how they got that thunderbolt. Because it is special, that is why it also represents. Then in Krishna Loka, you can see in the spirituals, there are cows which can be milked at any time and they will give as much milk as one likes, right? So Lord likes to keep many cows, such cows, and they're called Surabhi. So Lord is very much engaged in herding the Surabhi cows. Then Kandarpa, the sex desire, that is Cupid. And sometimes, sex is engaged only for sense gratification. That does not represent Krishna. But the sex for generating good children, that is called Kandarpa, Kamdeva, and that represents Krishna. So among the serpents, Vasuki, many-hooded. If it's many-hooded, then that is called Ananta Shesha, many-hooded. Ananta is the divine serpent, on whom Lord Vishnu is resting. He possesses 10,000 hoods. And it is said that he has been describing the glories of God with each of his hoods since the beginning of the creation, and description has not yet ended. It is going on. And among Varuna, among the aquatics, Varuna is the celestial god of the ocean. Then Aryama is the third son of Aditi. I will tell the later in level 2, you'll know. He is worshipped as the head of departed ancestors. Then Yamraj, everybody knows he is the lord of death. So he represents that. Then what else is there? He is the Ganges. He is the great time among animals, lion, because it's most powerful. Garuda, the divine vehicle of Lord Vishnu. And wind, in nature, wind, what does it do? It does the work of purifying everything, right? It converts impure water into water vapor. It carries dirty smells away. Wind does that, right? It makes a fire burn by fueling it with oxygen and all. So it's a great purifier of nature, and it represents Lord. Lord Rama, he was the most powerful warrior on earth, and his bow was the deadliest bow. But he never ever, tried to show his superiority. He was Maryada Purushottam. So every time he utilized his weapon, it was only for good. So he was perfect wielder of weapons. That is why. So Lord Rama was also avatar of God. So Krishna identifies with him. So shark is most dangerous, and that represents Ganges, is a very holy river that represents, right? So he is the creator. And among Vedas, conclusive truth, logicians, then beginning, end, creation. Then in Sanskrit, what happens? It's written A, right? So whenever we use Sanskrit, we put Ka, Halan plus A. That becomes Ka. That is the most important in the Sanskrit alphabet, right? So A also is the first vowel of the alphabet. And A comes at the beginning. He says, I represent that. And like Dvanda Samasa, it's written in Sanskrit, Dvanda Samasa, right? It's compound word. In Sanskrit language, we combine words to form compound words. That's why it's called Dvanda Samas. So like, for example, Radha Krishna is an example of Dvanda Samas. We use two words and then we make it compound words. Sri Krishna highlights it as his Vibhuti, he says. So Lord Krishna is saying, Brahma, He is the first one who, and he was the first creator. He was the first one to be there, and he had the creative ability, right? He best reflects the glory of God. Yes, please. Juma Mataji, would you read this?
All devouring death and generator of all things yet to be,
Not available. Yes, continue.
not available. Okay. Fame, fortune, speech, memory, intelligence, faithfulness, and patience among women. Bratasama among hymns. He is Gayatri among poetry. He is Margaisira among months. He is spring, flower bearing among seasons. He is gambling among cheats. He is splendor among splendid. He is victory, adventure, not available. He is strength among strong. He is Vasudeva, descendants of Vrishni. He is Arjuna among Pandavas. He is Vyasa among sages. He is Usana among thinkers. He is rod of
Excitement.
chastisement among punishments. He is morality among victory seekers. He is silence among secrets. And he is wisdom among wise. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So, okay, so I'll just take the important points. For example, let's say he is Samaveda because it has beautiful devotional songs, right? So among the Samaveda, it's Brihat Sam, which is excellent, exquisite melody it has. So that's what he typically represents. Gayatri mantra is very important. So that's the sound incarnation of Brahman. So he represents that. He represents the months. Margashirsha, spring season, right? Known as Ritu Raja, the king of seasons. So he represents that. Then there are many kinds of cheaters all over the universe of all kinds of cheating processes. Gambling, that is the supreme most, right? That therefore it represents Krishna. So as the supreme, Krishna can be more deceitful than any other man. If Krishna chooses to deceive somebody, no one can surpass in his defeat also, in his deceit also. So his greatness is not just, one-sided, it's all-sided. So Krishna is mentioning not only his virtue, but also wise as his opulence. Why? Because actually gambling is a very dangerous vice, right? That it can ruin families as such. Yudhishthira had that weakness for gambling that led to actually Mahabharata war. But if gambling is also God's glory, then why there is, then there is no harm in it. It should be right. It should not be forbidden as such. But the answer what God is giving is that he has given some power to the soul. And he has given some freedom to choose. But if we choose to forget him, he gives us the power to forget also. So it's like, electric power, which can be used. We can use electric power to heat the room also and to cool the room also. We are free to use how we want to use that power. But the powerhouse that is supplying the energy to us, that is not responsible whether we are because of the use or misuse of the power, whether we are using it for heat or cold, or the powerhouse is not responsible for that, right? It is giving us the power, that's it. How we use it is up to us. Similarly, a gambler also, he possesses the intellect and ability that is being supplied by God. But if he decides to misuse these God-given gifts, then God is not responsible for his sinful deeds. Then I think we have covered all. Vrishni dynasty, Lord is from Vrishni dynasty, so he's son of Vasudeva, right? And among Pandus, Arjuna was Dhananjaya, best of men, so he represents that. Vyasa Muni was the greatest of all because he explained the Vedic knowledge in different ways so that everybody, even the common people of Kali Yuga, can understand. So that is why he, among the Munis, Vyasa Muni is the greatest of all. So let's move on. Yes, Aishwari Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existence. There is no being, moving or non-moving, that can exist without me. Hare Krishna.
So Hare Krishna. Without Krishna's energy, nothing can exist. We have read so many of his glories, right? So that is why he is omnipotent, all powerful. And without his power, Nothing, no, movable, non-movable, nothing can exist, right? So because living beings, they are born in four ways. What is that? One is through eggs, right? They are born out of eggs, like that's called andash, like lizards, you can say birds, snakes. And then others are born out of womb, like it's called jarayuj, like humans, cows, dogs, cats. Then from sweat also, like lice and all come out, right? Ticks and lice, sweat is it's called. And then from earth, it sprouts from earth, like trees, creepers, grass, and so on, right? Udbij it's called. And there are also other life forms also, like ghosts and evil spirits are also there. So Lord Krishna, he says he is the origin of all. So he says he is the seed of the universe. That is why Yattapi Sarva Bhutanam Bijam Tadaham Arjuna. I am the seed of this universe. I am the generating seed of all existence, he says. Like all cloth comes out of cotton. No cloth can exist without cotton, right? So that is the thing, is the seed, generating seed of all existence. Yes, please. Juma Mataji, Hare Krishna.
O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So now he's trying to conclude the topic of opulences, whatever opulences he was talking about, from shloka number 28, 10.21 to 10.38. He has been describing his infinite opulences. That's just a fraction of what he has explained. So now he's saying that I have spoken only one portion. Nanto stimama divyanam vibhutinam parantapa. I have told you that Eshatu, Deshatu Prokto, Vibhuter Vistaro. I have just told you one portion of the breadth of the whole topic. So then we get this. If this question comes in our mind, if everything is opulence of God, then why was Lord Krishna telling all this? What is the need? The answer is that Arjuna had asked Lord Krishna. He said, how should we think of you? So Krishna said, okay, you are asking me, so I'm telling you. Mind, naturally, what happens whenever something nice picture is on the board, whenever you're passing in the car, you see nice hoardings, that attracts your attention, right? Mind usually goes and gets attracted to that. So Lord has revealed his specialities amongst his powers, right? Like I put this picture of he came, he saw, he conquered this Amul hoarding that we once they had put up this Amul hoarding when Sachin Tendulkar had scored 100 runs scored by Sachin Tendulkar. So they wrote SAU, right? So whenever you see and you remember Amul Butter, oh, okay, yeah, that hoarding was very interesting. Paint companies also, they would advertise, whenever you see colors, think of us. They will come up with, different, unique kind of things so that we remember them. So, even there was one, kya chal raha hai, fog chal raha hai, something like that. They will come up with different advertisements so that we can remember. So Lord Krishna is also saying in similar case, wherever you see the display of glory, think of, you will see sun, say, oh yeah, Krishna's opulence. Oh moon, yes, Krishna's opulence. Trees, yes, that's Krishna's opulence. Everything we should be seeing Krishna everywhere. That's why he said that. Yes, please. Juma Mataji, I think, right? Aishwarya Mataji, you were to read?
I'll read Mataji.
Okay.
But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Hare Krishna.
Okay. What is Lord telling here, Arjuna, is he should know that all the things are existing due to Krishna and because Krishna is there in every one of us as super soul, from Brahma to the most gigantic entity, elephant, Brahma, animals, down to the smallest ant. All are existing because Lord has entered into them. He is sustaining us. He is taking care. He is there as super soul, right? So he says entire creation of unlimited universes is held within a fraction of a being. Fraction of his being, imagine. So we think, why does Krishna is referring to fraction of his being here? Why is he saying that? With a single fragment of myself, single fraction. Why is he saying that? Because the reason is entire material creation consisting of unlimited universes. We are talking about unlimited. Only and only 1/4 of God's entire manifestations. Can you believe that? The remaining 3/4 is spiritual creation. We are supposed to be in that 3/4 area. We are coming and living in this 1/4 area. The evidence is given in Purusha Suktam, where it is written over there, Padosya Vishwa Bhutani Kripad Syamritam Divi. Means what? 1/4 is material creation and 3/4 is spiritual creation. Padosya Vishwa Bhutani Tripad. Tripad Syamritam Divi. Tripad means 3/4. 3/4 is spiritual creation. So you can imagine how the temporary world, it is just 1/4. This material energy, temporary world, Dukkhalem Ashashvatam, is but one part of Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is divine creation. The other 3 parts are spiritual abodes that are just beyond our imagination. We cannot, and there is no life, there is no cycle of birth and death over there. So you can imagine 3/4. And we are fallen over here because we have disobeyed him. That is why we are into this prison house. So Arjuna has realized that Krishna's position, absolutely, completely, his Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's what he has understood. So let's remember, anything good that you see, anything good in you is a reflection of Krishna. With this, we see chapter 10, source of everything. We know that to know Krishna, he is the source of all, right? Yet known, yet unknown. We know that all the devatas have come from Krishna. That's why Lord Krishna says that they don't know his origin and that he is the source of all the devatas. Then, essence of Bhagavad-Gita. We need to have sambandha, awareness. We need to have relationship with Krishna. Abhidaya process, how to apply, how to achieve Krishna. And goal is love of Krishna. Then we learned about enlighten more, Arjuna's acceptance. Arjuna says, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavam. He says, he gives references of Devarishi Narad, Asito, Devalo, Vyasa, Swayam, Chaiva, Bravishime. Then he's very eager. He says, oh, Bhuya Kathe, once more, I want to know, I'm still thirsty. I want to know more about your glories. And then Krishna shows his, he says that I am everywhere. Krishna's Aishwarya we could see everywhere. Without Krishna's energy, nothing can exist, right? He's the essence. He's omnipotent. He's all powerful. Without him, nothing can move. Neither movable nor non-movable. Nothing can move without him. He's that powerful, and he is the essence. Lord tells Arjuna that we should understand that all are existing because of Krishna entering everyone into everything as super soul, right? From Brahma to even the ant. He is the essence of everything. So Arjuna realized that Krishna is Krishna's position absolutely as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so we should water the devotion. How to water it? By developing eagerness to hear. What will happen then? It will increase our faith, our conviction, and determination. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.